Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the market update September 17th. This is 8:10 in the morning. Sorry, we're gonna get a little bit started early, so I'm really kind of busy day for me. So we're gonna get started on the market update. So let's take a look at what's happening today. Big news: 9:45 Bank of Canada rate change. So far, the expectation is a quarter point, and I think that's what's going to happen. 2.75 is the current rate, and I think it's going to drop down to 2.50. I think this is a good news for the Canadian banks, Canadian stocks, and also good for the Canadian housing as well. So the mortgages will get a little cheaper. And then Bank of Canada press conference 10:30 to tell us what's going to happen, the future rate cuts. We got a couple of more rate decisions by the Bank of Canada that are coming up. Are we going to get future rate cuts? So that would be very interesting to read there between the lines. So Bank Canada, what Mr. Malcolm has to say. And then at 2 o'clock, we have the federal funds rate decision. We know it's sitting at 4.50 right now. It's going to be a quarter point cut, pretty sure. 4.25. Uh, is there a chance to cut maybe half a point? I think there is an outside chance, depending on how the other Feds vote. I think eventually Powell will listen to the majority what it has to say, and I think a quarter point is already priced into the market. Half a point is not priced into the market. So if you do get a half a point, and that could be priced to the market a little bit, and that could push the market to the higher level. So what can happen if there is just a quarter point? We've been, we've been talking about this for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. By the time we get to this point, quarter point most likely will be priced in. So what is it going to do to the market? Markets basically is priced in. It possibly could go to the downside because the market maybe is expecting a half a point cut. So we could have a little bit of dip on the market, but it's not going to be as bad dip. Not as bad dip if they didn't cut anything. If they don't even cut out like a quarter point, could you imagine that? Because the market is expecting that, that would be a big drop in the market. But that's not going to happen. We know that. So at least a quarter point cut, half a point outside chance of happening, and that could surprise the market a little bit. But overall, we do expect the market to stay at this level. So let's take a look at what the ES futures are trading at. Remember, these futures expire in 2 days on Friday. So we also have options expiring. So the June futures gonna expire, and that is gonna spur up a lot of volatility in the market as well for the next couple of days. So what's happening with the market this morning? We didn't have much of a change yesterday. We look like a little bit of a that looked like if you look at that candle that formed yesterday on the day candle on the ES futures, it looked like a bearish candle, right? The price went up and then it got pushed back to the downside. So so far the way the market is acting, like it's got a quarter point in its pocket, but the market's gonna drop. So where would I look for the key points when I would, let's say I want to go to the downside, especially, okay? I would look for these two candles. See this candle, the big green candle? I would look for the price to go below that and this candle here. If they go below that, we could be turning into a short term to the downside. And that's probably most likely going to happen if we just get a quarter point, okay? So that's going to be interesting. This is where I would want to really go short if we get below that green candle. We are selling a little bit. If you look at the top algo, all the signs are indicating that we're going to get a quarter point, and when we get the quarter point, the market's going to go to the downside. That's what I am expecting, and this is what the market is signaling us, and that's what it's telling us. I'm not going on my feelings. I'm going with what the market is telling me. Okay, so it's very important to see that. And we've been predicting this point for the last month. We've been talking about 6 months now, rate cut. And here we are in September, and we knew that this was coming in September, and here we are. So big changes are coming, and I think it's going to be for the good. I think this is good, going to be a good for the market. a little more volatility and a little more trading for us as well. So what about the Nasdaq? Nasdaq is sitting right there. Same thing. If you look at its candle yesterday, that is look like a bearish candle on top, just like these one. These were indecision candles right there. If you see that, right? These were bearish candles. See these three of them? They were all bearish candle. Eventually, it did break out. Then we got a big cloud candle. And then what happened? We had a big candle to the downside. This is where I would have gone short on this one. Again, this is where I would have gone short on this one. And it's the same thing. We could go short right there. This is the level around 24,316, about 200 points to the downside. Even though there's a lot of buying here, remember it's only have about a couple of candles to consider, but it can drop down very quickly. Okay, what about the Dow Jones? Dow Jones is near its highs from last year. It's trying to break to the upside. This could be a double top. If you get a quarter point, we are going to most likely head to the downside. And what about IWM? I said, yeah, yesterday we're going to take a profit out of this. I think we get a quarter point. I think the market comes down. But these guys benefited. The small caps benefited that talk about quarter point, a half a point in the last couple of weeks. So we bought 234. I am most likely going to sell this at some point today before the market rate decision. I think we're going to get a quarter point, and that's going to push the market lower, and that's why I kind of going to take a profit in this one. So I got over about $4.50 profit right now sitting in this one. I'm most likely going to take it. And what's going to happen to the oil market? The oil market is climbing up a little bit with the rate cut. It's good for the economy. That means they might use more oil. Oil might jump up a little bit. It is up above the golden line. It's holding here. I'm not into oil right now because I basically have a very hard time predicting where it's going to go. Unless we get below the golden line, I think the oil market is going to go to the sideways for a little while. And they're talking about all these cuts and what's going to happen with all that Russian oil that is going to China and India. Because China and India is not now buying from Saudi Arabia, right? So what's going to happen to all that excess oil? So I do see eventually the price coming down, but right now it's very hard to predict. And when something is very hard to predict, I like to stay away. Why lose money in it, right? So I'm staying away from oil. Gold, on the other hand, is down $20 right now. Again, rate cut, it's a hedge against inflation. So I think we're going to see inflation numbers coming up in a couple of weeks. And that's really going to get the gold and this to the upside or to the downside. But we still have our overhanging this decision by the feds. Not by the feds, by the Supreme Court, that they still got to make that tariff deal. Are they going to allow Donald Trump or not allow that? And I'm still watching that. I'm watching that more closely than I'm watching the interest rate decision. Why? Because that's what's really going to move the market. If that decision is against Donald Trump, this market will drop. I don't care if it's a half a point cut. It's going to drop. I think that's going to have more impact on the market than the interest rate decision. So keep a very close eye to the Supreme Court if they come out with that decision, and you will see the market move on that decision. Again, if it's status quo, the market's going to take that as a good news. Those tariffs, and that might push the market even higher. So that is more interesting news than I would say even the interest rate cuts today. So what's happening with the Russell 2000 again with the IWM? It's sitting here with that rate cut, 0.5%. It should do a kick to the downside, a quarter point should kick to the downside. And the VIX is picking up this morning, guys. Look at that. VIX is going to the upside. The rate is coming. Rate cut is coming. Bunch of decisions are coming. And this could pump up to the upside. It's already is pumping to the upside. The 10-year, guys, sitting at 4.02. It's going to show up in about another minute. 8:20 is when the bond market starts trading. And this is when it becomes a live rate. But I'm already checking the pre-market rate this morning already. It's sitting at 4.022. And I'm going to tell you a little thing. Also keep an eye, very close eye on this for 4%. If it gets below 4%, I think there might be an outside chance that they may do a half a point. Okay, and just look forward to see below 4%. Bond people have a very people who trade bonds usually get a very good picture by the time the interest rates roll around, what sort of decision is going to be. Okay, so look for this to fall below 4. If it does, I'm taking a risk on outside chance that we may get a half a point cut. So look for this one to go below 4. Right now it is sitting at the market rate, which is 4.02. That's what it's trading at right now. So keep up very close. And the dollar index with the bond, this yield going down, this bond, this dollar index is also going to go down. And the US dollar is going to get weak. And if we get a 0.5% cut, this thing is going to come down like a stone. Remember, eventually I said 95, right? This was going to hit. So it's back. It's starting there. It's 96.81, and look like it's going to break the low here, and it's going to go lower and eventually hit that 95 that I mentioned. Eventually, that's where this thing was going. Temporarily lifted up to the other side with all the TARPs moving back and forth. What's happening with the triple? Looking at the put call ratios, if you look at the SPY put call ratio and the triple, they're telling this market is going to the upside. And are they saying that we're going to get a 0.5% cut? It's possible. And also IWM went very strong towards the put side. Actually, it was very low yesterday. It went towards the put call side on the IWM. So if you get only quarter point cut, IWM will fall, and that's why it went very strong towards the put call ratio side, put call side for a lot. And same thing with the SPY, with the triple Q, which went towards the call side, with saying the market's going to the upside. Okay, so what is Bitcoin expecting? Bitcoin is expecting a quarter point cut, which is already priced into the Bitcoin. But if they get a 0.5 point, this is going to pop to the upside. So what's going to happen to Bitcoin if they only get a quarter point cut? Okay, I don't really like Bitcoin is an asset you really can't put a price on, because it doesn't have a price to earnings ratio and stuff like that. Even with a quarter point cut, I think the market goes sideways on Bitcoin. I don't think it's going to move much, but 0.5 point will pick it up to the upside. And I don't think Bitcoin is going to drop that much. Okay, even with a quarter point, as much as the market's going to drop, I don't think Bitcoin is going to have that much effect. Okay, so that's where I stand with the Bitcoin. And looking at other stuff down the line here, what else can give us some sort of indication what's going to happen? We look at some of the housing stocks, and the housing stocks been coming down because they are priced in a quarter point. They did not price in a 0.5 point. And that's another thing. That's why I'm saying it's going to only get a quarter point. But if these stocks start jumping to the upside, it most likely maybe going to get a 0.5 point cut. If it does get a 0.5 point cut on these housing stocks, I think these housing stocks move right to the top again. I'm a big believer right now in RTX. I do have a whole big position. I added some more over the last few days. Why? Because I have a very not RTX, sorry, RKT. RTX is a good stock too, by the way, guys. RKT. This is I believe in this one. I think even with the quarter point cut, which is already priced in, I think for long-term view on the mortgages, I think this goes to a much higher. Okay, it did break the high, all-time high. I do think this is going to go to. I have a $25 target, then eventually a $30 target on this one, and I think it will continue to the upside, very strong. Rocket Mortgages. Okay. So with some of the other stocks we talk about, again, the Chinese stocks, I want to talk about Baidu. $10 up this morning, and I mentioned it yesterday. I mentioned it 2 months ago. It's moving. It's $123 this morning. It's up pretty good. It's up almost. It was up almost like $10 even earlier. So if you have this one, like I said, breaking out, the next level breakout already was this one here, and it's already there. And the next level breaking out is right there, 135. It's going to be. I think it's going to reach 150, 156 target. That's where it's going. And same thing, Baba. If you, I don't know if anybody bought it here. Baba or Baidu. If you did, congratulations. If you want to mention it in the chat, that's fine. If not, I know privately a bunch of people have this stock already, both Baba and Baidu. Congratulations to those. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? And it is 166 this morning. I have a $180 target on this one right there, and I think a $180 target is not very far away. I've been saying that since down here, and remember this trend line down here. That with that, this is where the market. This is where I felt the Chinese market turned around, and I remember this. If you guys want to go take a look at those market updates, I remember back at here, I said this is it. I think the Chinese market about to turn around, and that's where Alibaba basically took off. Then it came right back down again, right back up again, and same thing with Baidu. Okay, and these are looking pretty good. One of the other things I want to talk about is natural gas this morning. Why am I talking about natural gas? Because I do think it's this little breakout. I was watching it this morning. I bought one contract on natural gas, and I think natural gas is headed back to 377 here. Why do I think natural gas? Remember, the first cold we get here in Canada, this thing will jump. First cold day they'll say first thing they'll be buying is natural gas. So I want to be ahead of the crowd. Okay, so I am in this one at 332, one contract on natural gas, and again, I want to be ahead of the curve. So I'm looking for much higher. I will get a great return if it gets to 377. So I am holding one contract on natural gas. That's what I'm talking about. Don't trade Boyle. I know a lot of people trade this one. This is very risky, guys. Just stay away from Boyle. Okay, what is gold doing this morning? Gold is down again, 18 bucks there. Silver sitting at all-time highs. Should you add some Gurkitas this morning? Should you buy silver? Or yesterday, I think we talked about it. Yes, I think silver is still cheap, and it has gone as much as what gold has gone up. Okay, so far everything looks good. Talk about the Japanese yen. Again, guys, I would be into Japanese yen. I would be long on the Japanese yen, short on the US dollar. I think this is coming down to the $1.40 and $1.35. Why? Interest rate cuts coming up this morning, this afternoon in the US, which should weaken this one. It should be around $1.45. This could be a good, actually, this is not a bad place to take maybe a little bit short on this year. I think it will. Same thing with the euro. Euro is headed higher. Dollar, it's almost coming close to $1.19 there. $1.20 is my target. Same thing on the pound. $1.40 target on the pound, going higher. So all those these things are working out real nicely to the upside. So 828. Do we have any other data coming out early? So just quickly take a look. At 8:30, nothing really stands out. We got housing starts, building permits, foreign securities purchase. Okay, this is if you guys don't know what foreign securities purchase is, the foreigners buying the Canadian securities like Canadian bank stocks and stuff like that. They're expecting $1.32 billion to come out of it, go leave Canada. So last time it actually $0.71 billion came in. So what is it going to look like this time? Is there going to be money coming into? Usually money comes into Canada when securities are cheap. Right now the Canadian securities, which banks are I think pretty expensive. So I'm looking for this to maybe this number will be correct. Negative 132, which is not good for the market, for the Canadian market. But again, it's just a way of looking at the numbers. Building permits on the US side, if this number is higher, that means the economy is expanding. Housing starts, same thing. If this is going higher, the market is expanding. Again, these numbers don't have that much effect on the stock market, but they are there. They can tell you in the future what direction the market is going. So we got about 20 seconds. So let's just have a quick peek at these numbers, what they're gonna look like, and what they're gonna tell us. There's a lot of numbers we can talk about every single day, but I don't know if I want to talk about every single one of them. So what does the number look like here? Come on. We have crude inventories also at 1.4 million coming up at 10:30 as well, and that usually pushes the price of oil. So building permits are going down. That tells us the U.S. economy is not doing well. Okay, building permits are down, and what's the other two numbers look like here? Yeah, this one is down too. So that doesn't look too good. Okay, the for this just tells us the economy is not doing well. Okay, and wow, what a purchase! The foreigners purchased, wow, $26 billion. Wow, that's a huge number. This should be good for the Canadian stocks. What are they buying? What for $26 billion? I bet they've been buying Canadian National Railway probably. just a just a little joke, guys. I don't know what they've been buying, but that's 26.98. That's a lot of money coming into, and they revised the number from last time too. For that, the number jumped up from zero point 0.7 to 1.01 billion. So money has been coming into Canada. That's good news. So maybe they're trusting Carney. Okay, maybe they believe in this guy that he's gonna lift the Canadian economy. So that's 26 billion. That's a huge number. Okay, so Bank of Canada rate decision coming out 9:45, and what is it gonna do? They're gonna do a quarter point like we already talked about. Bank of Canada conference call 10:30. Then the federal funds rate, which is gonna come at 2 o'clock. It does come with a statement. Remember that. Okay, and then at 2:30, then that's when Jerome Powell goes in front of the press and answers his questions. So really going to be, if it's a quarter point cut, the interesting part is going to be reading the statement. Okay, that statement is available on the Fed. Somebody did put the website in here. You can go read it there. But if I'm back here, I will be reading that, and I will be putting the point by point back into our conversation in here, so you guys understand what they're talking about. Okay. So that is going on, guys. Let's take a look at some other stocks that you guys might have. RKLB, so sure, I can take a look at that. RKLB, Rocket Labs. Okay, so very good stock. We looked at it before. If you bought it back here on the breakout, then you bought it on the breakout here. Congratulations, you made good money. What is it doing now? That's a good question. So do I want to buy this when the interest rates are decision today? Most likely not. Okay, but if you have it already, that's fine. But I don't think I want to buy on this one here. Okay, on the risk that the interest rate, the market may dip to the downside. Okay, so I got to be a little careful on this one. Okay, so that is what I would say on Rocket Lab. Wait, I would, if you on the long side, I would really wait back. So it's a risk on day. I think it is a risk on day, but it depending on the 2 o'clock might not be a risk on day. Okay, that's what I'm worried about. 2 o'clock. Anything before 2 o'clock is a risk on. I think the market goes to the upside, but around 2 o'clock, I'm worried with the quarter point cut. Okay, that's what my feelings are today. Okay. ELF, ETF to buy. Their ETF, that's a good question, my friend. You know what? Let me take a look at it, Sarbjeet. I'll find a good one. I don't want to give you just something off my head, something I don't know anything about, but definitely give you a good ETF on gas. So I'm just gonna write this down here so I don't miss. Okay, so I will come back with you on that. Okay, GIS earnings are out. Did you say? Yeah, they were coming out soon on General Mills. I like this stock. General Mills sitting at 49. It's sitting at 48.06 right now. Did come out with good earnings. I honestly haven't looked at these numbers yet. I haven't broken them down, but they look positive so far. And they were spending a lot of money on the new machinery. They were updating their what do you call their machinery, because all the color was coming out of their cereals and stuff. So I think these are pretty good earnings. I was expecting a loss, to be honest with you. I was expecting a loss, and I thought this would go lower, and I would have an opportunity to buy lower. but these are numbers are pretty good. So I am gonna break them down during the day. I own the stock. Would I buy the stock? I'm buying at $50. Okay. Right now the stock is down in the pre-market 48.06, and that's probably because they probably said something in there. What are they doing with those machineries? So I have to take a look at it. I'm not interested in buying this right now, but I have to take a look at the numbers before I do that. Okay. So just hang on to Spain Deep. Let me, by the end of the day, I will have some sort of take a look on that. GIS DLTR Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree has been coming down. I like Dollar Tree. I want to buy Dollar Tree more. Again, we had very good run, but I would wait till let it make a U shape to the upside. Then I would be interested in this. I'm definitely like it. I like the Dollar Tree. But if you sold it back up here like we did, that's nice. But again, I keep small portion of it, and so it's a reminder for me, hey, to buy it when it goes cheap. Okay, Dollar Tree would hang on definitely. You know, take us the insurance CNC. Again, it had a nice run, $36, and again, I like this long term. I still have some. I still like to buy more of it, but again, just wait for the turnaround. Okay, it's been had a nice run. They did say they're gonna meet their revenue targets for the year, and that's why originally this kind of popped up to the upside, right? So I'm waiting for it to turn around back to the upside. I think it will do. Ticker for the natural gas is NG. It's right down here. Where is it? This here, actually, natural gas. You can get here. This one here you can buy, right there. This is remember, these are futures, guys. Okay, these are futures. The one I like is, where's my? This is a futures contract right there. Okay, it's sitting at 313, but I bought the other one. I bought the this one here. If you're gonna buy, I'd rather buy this one here. This is this will give you a lot more return. The target is 378 on this one. Okay, I like futures, but remember, futures are always riskier, and you can lose a lot, you can make a lot. Okay, you can lose a lot, you can make a lot. Okay, just remember that. GRBK is also the housing stock. I don't think the stock ran up as much as the other ones did. Okay, so this stock is still, I think it's a good value. I think it's still worth buying. Right, it hasn't dropped as much as the other ones have, and it also didn't go up as much the other ones did. So I think this is still good. Okay, I think it's very good value on this one. So guys, I just again, I'm kind of a lot of busy day for me here today. I will be back, I think, for the American rate change, but I'm still gonna take a look, see how when they want to leave here. I gotta leave around, I don't know, around 9:15. I'll have to go find out. I will be back in a few minutes. I'll let Harvey do the market update. I will be back before I go. So thank you very much, guys.